Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The February 10th, 2026 study session is called to order. All council members are present with the exception of the Mayor Ulloa, who has an excused absence. Councilmember Lucio, will you lead us in the flag salute, please?
Yes. Would you all please stand and face the flag? Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
This is time and the place for the general public to address City Council about subjects on the agenda. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak to us? Seeing none, we're going to go to the first item and only item, the Joint Power Authority's evaluation for future insurance consideration. Staff report by Terry Doyle, the Director of Human Resources Risk Management, and Crystal Murillo.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the City Council. Before we begin this evening, I wanted to take a brief moment to acknowledge and apologize for how this item was presented at the last council meeting. Actually, not the last council meeting, but the last time we presented it to you. So at the last presentation, we only presented one JPA for your consideration, which was CIRA, and we received a lot of feedback and guidance from the council at that presentation. And we really appreciated the council's guidance, all the feedback that we received from you. And we took all of that information and we did a really deep dive into all of the risk pools that were out there. And with all of that information, we went back and we now are going to present to you this evening 4 options for your consideration. In addition, we have a staff recommendation for you that is different from the last recommendation that we presented to you last time. So with that information, I want to tell you a little bit about what you're going to hear this evening. So this evening, we're going to review the pros and cons of each of the 4 joint powers associations that we're going to go over. We are going to offer a recommendation of a different joint powers association that we have reviewed and done our due diligence on, and we're going to provide to you all of the criteria we use to come up with that recommendation. Should the council wish to join a risk pool effective next fiscal year, the primary goal of this presentation is to explore options to reduce the city's current $5 million general liability deductible while ensuring the city maintains sufficient insurance coverage. Our main objectives tonight are to identify alternatives to reduce the city's out-of-pocket insurance deductibles. Second, to ensure the city maintains comprehensive insurance coverage and explore higher coverage limits to better protect the city from costly claims. And third, compare membership characteristics, coverages, and resources among 4 joint powers insurance authorities commonly used by California cities, counties, and special districts. But before we discuss insurance coverages and risk pools, we wanted to provide council with background on the city's insurance history. From 1996 to 2007, the City of Chino participated in a joint powers insurance authority called the Independent Cities Risk Management Authority, also known as ICRMA. Due to the high cost of claims, which created financial instability within the pool, the city decided to leave ICRMA and obtain standalone insurance coverage. Under standalone coverage, the city purchases its insurance directly from commercial carriers. The city obtains its insurance with the assistance of an insurance broker who helps the city understand its risk, reviews coverage options, and recommends strategies to reduce costs and claims. Tegner Mill Insurance was the city's insurance broker up to 2016. Since then, the city's insurance broker has been Aon Risk Insurance Services West. To provide a better understanding of the city's claims history, this slide offers a snapshot of the city's workers' compensation and general liability claims over the past 5 years. For workers' compensation, the city has received an average of 41 claims per year. The average for the top 3 most expensive workers' compensation claims is $262,000 per claim. For general liability, we have received an average of 85 claims per year, and the expenses for claims and lawsuits, including settlement fees, range from as high as $965,000 to as low as $100. One thing we wanted to note is that the city's most expensive claim was in the year 2019, which was a general liability claim that cost approximately $3.9 million. Now I would like to turn the presentation over to the Deputy Director to provide information on Joint Powers Insurance Authorities.
This slide provides an overview of what are Joint Powers Insurance Authorities. Often referred to as risk pools, Joint Powers Insurance Authorities, or JPAs, are legal partnerships formed under California law by 2 or more public agencies. Risk pools allow cities and other public agencies to jointly provide insurance coverages and risk management services that are often more cost-effective and resource-efficient than operating independently. The types of insurance coverages and risk services provided by the JPA are also determined by a board made up of representatives from each member agency, which are typically city managers or designated city staff. There are several potential benefits to joining a JPA. In a JPA, the costs for claims are shared across multiple agencies, which helps minimize financial risks and makes budgeting for insurance purposes more stable. Members also gain access to in-house expertise and training resources that may be difficult to fund independently. Risk pools are also governed by its member agencies rather than by private insurers. This means member agencies vote for key decisions in a risk pool, such as the type of insurance coverages provided in a pool and membership of new agencies into the pool. In addition to the benefits, there are also some factors to consider when joining a pool. Because the risk is shared, a large loss from one member agency can indirectly impact all members in a pool. Before moving on, it's important to understand how a Joint Powers Insurance Authority shares risk and why a large loss impacts all members in a pool. A JPA functions like a shared insurance fund. Each participating agency contributes money into one collective pool, and that pool is used to pay for claims for any member. Because the funds are shared, when one member experiences a large loss, that payment comes out of the same pool that protects every other member. For example, imagine a JPA made up of 200 public agencies. Each agency contributes $5,000, creating a $1 million pool. If one agency has a $600,000 lawsuit settlement, that amount is paid from the shared pool, not just from that agency's contribution. As a result, the pool balance is significantly reduced. To remain financially stable, the JPA may need to increase future premiums or adjust the coverage for all members. Even though only one agency had the loss, all member agencies are affected because the risk is shared. This risk-sharing structure is one of the key benefits of a JPA, but it also means that large or frequent losses by any member can result in financial instability of a pool and create fiscal impacts on all the members. Since risk pools are governed by multiple agencies, individual agencies may also have less control over insurance coverage terms or rates. And lastly, some risk pools require long-term commitments and have restrictions or costs associated with exiting the pool. Now we will present 4 different risk pool options. Out of the 6 Joint Powers Insurance Authorities staff reached out to, the ones being presented tonight are those that responded and expressed interest in having the City of Chino as a member. First is Public Risk Innovation Solutions and Management, also known as PRISM. PRISM is one of the largest and longest-standing public entity risk pools and was established in 1979. PRISM offers a broad range of coverages to its members, including general liability and workers' compensation insurance, with the option to purchase property, auto, cyber, crime, and aviation insurance. An important thing to note is that many GPAs also purchase services through PRISM for their own risk pools, such as an excess layer of insurance coverage or special event coverage. PRISM does not have a membership application fee, and membership includes over 300 agencies and JPAs statewide, including cities such as Corona, Anaheim, Fontana, and Pomona. Next is the California Intergovernmental Risk Authority, also known as CIRA. CIRA was formed in 2021 through the merger of two risk pools with histories dating back to the 1970s and 80s. It offers general liability and workers' compensation insurance to its members with the option to purchase property, auto, cyber, and crime insurance. The application fee is $5,000. If the city of Chino were to join CIRA, the application fee is credited towards the city's annual premium. There are over 50 members with a mix of Northern and Southern California cities. Some of the Southern California cities include the City of Industry, Menifee, and Rancho Cucamonga. Next is the California Joint Powers Risk Management Authority, also known as CJPRMA. CJPRMA was established in 1986 and provides general liability insurance with the option to purchase property and auto coverage. The CJPRMA is the only pool presented tonight that does not provide workers' compensation coverage to its members. It has a $1,000 membership application fee, and membership is primarily concentrated in Northern California cities such as Fremont, Roseville, and Santa Rosa. The fourth insurance pool is the Public Entity Risk Management Authority, also known as PIRMA. PIRMA was established in 1985 and provides general liability and workers' compensation insurance to its members, with the option to purchase property, auto, cyber, and crime insurance. The application fee is $1,000 and would be applied towards the annual premium if the city were to join PIRMA. There are 32 members in PIRMA, which are mostly Inland Empire and Southern California cities, including Eastvale, Paris, and Moreno Valley. This slide shows a comparison of key areas across the four insurance pools. The two rows that I would like to highlight on this slide are the third-party administrators and legal attorneys assigned. Under a JPA, third-party administrators, also known as TPAs, are companies that help member agencies manage their general liability and workers' compensation claims. Their role is similar to that of an insurance company that assigns a claims adjuster when you have a private vehicle accident. Just like a claims adjuster would handle your auto claim by investigating the accident, coordinating with involved parties, and working towards resolution, a TPA does the same for a city's liability or workers' compensation claim. There are some insurance pools, like the CJPRMA and PRISM, that allow their members to select their own third-party administrators to help manage their claims. Other pools, like CIRA and PIRMA, have designated third-party administrators for their members. With these TPAs, there are often lower administrative costs and a group of claims adjusters dedicated exclusively to members of the risk pool. Similarly, there are some JPAs that allow their member agencies to pick their own defense attorneys for lawsuits. In contrast, some JPAs provide members with a list of defense attorneys who have subject matter expertise on different types of claims, ranging from employment law, trip and falls, to vehicle accidents. This slide highlights other resources that each JPA provides to its members. Please note the CJPRMA does not provide any additional resources to members. However, PRISM, CIRA, and PIRMA provide a variety of resources, including grants for risk-related projects and services, access to training modules, services to help track annual insurance renewals for contracted services, as well as access to an employer hotline and Lexapol for public safety. This chart summarizes the city's current insurance coverages. The chart is separated between the city's two main insurance programs, workers' compensation and general liability, and additional insurance programs the city has elected to purchase, which include property, crime, and aviation insurance. This chart also outlines the city's out-of-pocket deductibles, the coverage limits, and annual premiums that were paid for this fiscal year. We have also included the premiums that were paid for our third-party administrators. Also, the statutory limit you see under the workers' compensation coverage means that the coverage under workers' compensation is based on limits that are set by state law, so there is not a set dollar amount. We wanted to highlight again the deductible amount for the general liability coverage. For general liability, the city has a $5 million out-of-pocket deductible for each claim, which is generally considered high across the industry. Reducing this out-of-pocket deductible while maintaining the same or even higher coverage limits under a JPA could benefit the city, which is shown on the next slide. This slide shows a comparison of the premium estimates we have received so far from the JPAs for general liability and workers' compensation coverage. We have reached out to the 4 JPAs for deductible information and premium estimates, but are still pending some responses. For general liability coverage, we have asked the JPAs to provide us estimates for coverage below our current $5 million deductible. In addition, we have asked our insurance broker, Aon, to obtain estimates for lower deductible amounts from our current insurance carrier, which is Safety National. This is part of our goal to lower the amount the city may have to pay out of pocket for claims. The JPAs have determined their estimates based on the city's payroll budget and the cost of the city's claims over the last 10 years. As you can see, as the deductible amount gets lower, the estimated premium rates tend to increase. For lower general liability deductibles, such as $500,000, we have not yet received estimates from Safety National and PRISM, and some JPAs do not offer coverage at this level. Only Sierra and PERMA have provided estimates so far for the $500,000 deductible level, reflecting that JPAs are sometimes willing to support the lower deductibles. Safety National and all the JPAs offer a $1 million general liability deductible, and the premium costs vary slightly. Safety National and PRISM are at around $2.5 million. CJPRMA is lower at about $1.9 million, and Sierra and PERMA fall in between. As deductibles increase to $3 million, fewer JPAs offer options, while Safety National and PRISM continue to provide estimates, reflecting differences in risk tolerance. For the coverage limits, all JPAs offer a higher level of coverage compared to our current insurance carrier, Safety National. For workers' compensation, not all JPAs offer coverage with a $1 million deductible. Only Safety National and PRISM provide $1 million deductible options, while Sierra and PERMA offer $500,000 deductible options. Again, the insurance limits are statutory. For the JPAs, their workers' compensation deductibles apply to both sworn and non-safety positions. Overall, the table shows that Safety National provides market flexibility, while JPAs reflect shared risk, resulting in different pricing, deductible choices, and coverage limits. Since the city also purchases property, auto, crime, cyber, and aviation insurance, we have asked the 4 risk pools to provide premium estimates for these coverages as well. This slide compares the estimates to our current premiums. PRISM includes flood and earthquake coverage within its property insurance program. PRISM also provides aviation coverage, but we are still waiting for the aviation premium estimate. Sierra includes flood coverage in its property program and offers separate coverages for earthquake, crime, and cyber, but does not provide aviation coverage. CJPRMA includes flood and cyber coverage within its property program, but does not offer earthquake, crime, or aviation coverage. PERMA offers property, crime, and cyber insurance, but has confirmed that it does not offer flood, earthquake, or aviation coverage. The city currently pays separate premiums for each of these coverages. In contrast, some JPAs bundle certain coverages within their property programs, which could lead to a cost savings. Additionally, some JPAs offer lower property insurance deductibles than the city's current coverage, reducing the city's potential out-of-pocket expenses. The coverage limits also vary by insurance type, which is why the row on coverage limits shows a range. For example, PRISM's lowest coverage limit is $1 million for crime insurance, while its highest is $700 million for property insurance. When evaluating each JPA, staff considered several key factors: the trainings and resources offered to the city, whether the city could select its own third-party administrators and attorneys, deductible amounts to help reduce out-of-pocket costs, premium rates, and higher coverage limits to better protect the city from significant losses. Additionally, we reviewed the membership deadlines provided by each JPA. If the city intends to join a JPA effective the next fiscal year, these deadlines are critical to ensure the underwriting process for membership is completed on time. The last row lists the estimated premium rates. Please note these estimates only show the premiums for the two main programs, general liability and workers' compensation. As a comparison, we have also included our current general liability and workers' compensation coverages with Safety National. These estimates also do not factor in the costs for third-party administrators. The additional costs for property, auto, cyber, crime, and aviation coverage were also shown in the previous slide. Based on these criteria, staff ranked PRISM as first. This is because PRISM allows the city to choose its own third-party administrators and attorneys while offering one of the highest levels of coverage at a cost-effective price compared to the other JPAs. Additionally, many other JPAs already purchase coverage from PRISM, meaning the city could access this coverage directly and avoid extra administrative fees that other JPAs may charge. PERMA is ranked second. Although PERMA does not provide full flexibility in selecting third-party administrators or attorneys, its coverage limits are close to those of PRISM. CIRA is ranked third. CIRA designates third-party administrators for general liability and workers' compensation, allowing the city to choose its own defense attorneys. But it also offers lower general liability coverage and has a shorter time frame for submitting a membership application. CJP-RMA is ranked fourth because it does not provide training or resources and lacks a workers' compensation program. However, it does allow the city to select its own third-party administrators and attorneys. Using the example of the city's highest paid claim, which was $3.9 million, if the city was currently in an insurance pool such as PRISM, the city's out-of-pocket costs for the deductible would only be $1 million. Once this deductible is met, then the insurance under PRISM would cover the remaining costs of the claim, saving the city $2.9 million out of pocket for that claim. This example underscores a critical point. As the cost of claims continues to rise, inadequate coverage could leave the city vulnerable to significant financial costs. If the council is interested in a joint powers insurance authority effective next fiscal year, staff recommends pursuing membership with PRISM as the most advantageous option, offering the best balance of flexibility, coverage, and cost. At this time, staff is requesting guidance from the council to move forward with membership into PRISM or any other option discussed this evening. If council would like to move forward, our next steps would be to contact the preferred JPA to start the membership application process. This application process would require the city to submit necessary information to the preferred JPA, and after, the JPA will vote on whether to accept the city into its pool. Staff will then need to bring the item back to the City Council at a future council meeting for formal approval. This concludes the presentation. We are available to answer any questions on any of the 4 joint powers insurance authorities presented this evening.
Great. Thank you, Crystal, very much. I'd like to open up the audience. Anybody in the audience have any questions regarding this item? Seeing none, I'd like to open it up for council comments. Karen? No comments. Mark?
Okay, so the when we look at the total amount of estimated premium cost, we're looking at $3 million a year?
That is the estimate that was provided by PRISM, yes.
Okay. So our current one, is that 1.5?
So that is currently what we paid this fiscal year in premiums, but just for the general liability and workers' compensation programs only.
And this one's going to do property and everything else?
Yes, so we currently purchase additional insurance coverages, but we purchase those independently. Prism, they do offer commercial property. Flood and earthquake coverage is folded into that. They also offer crime, cyber, and out of the 4 JPAs that we reached out to and responded back to us, they are the only pool that is offering aviation coverage. And so the estimates that we received on that total out to $654,800, although we still are waiting on the premium estimate for the aviation coverage.
Do we have any idea, is it going to be more or less than the 50,000 that?
We have been told that it will be close to our current premium that we paid, which is around $59,000-$60,000 is what we paid.
So when we look at this, that we buy separately, it shows 654,000 for Prism. Is that on top of the 3 million, or is that combined total with?
That would be in addition to the $3 million.
So we're looking at 3,654,000.
And if I may just clarify, isn't the 3 million dependent on the deductible level that the council chooses?
Yes, that is correct.
And so right now we're leaning towards $1 million, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So how much more per year is it than what we're currently paying?
We'd have to run those calculations. I don't have that answer off the top of my head
Can somebody run it for us?
right now. Yeah, we can.
Where's our money lady?
So in total, what we paid for this fiscal year is about $2.5 million.
That's for everything. That's all the property, flood, everything, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So now what's the total amount that we would be paying for Prism? 3.7?
It would be around 3.7.
Okay.
And obviously, if you go with a higher deductible,
And the premium would go down.
yeah.
Is $1 million normally what the cities go for?
Yes, we actually also did a survey of surrounding cities to see what they had as a deductible. So we do have that data on hand. So we reached out to the city of Rancho Cucamonga. They actually currently have a $500,000 deductible. The city of Corona has a $1 million deductible, and the city of Ontario has a $1 million deductible as well. Other cities we reached out to also include Eastvale. They only have a $50,000 deductible, but they are a much smaller city. And the city of Colton has a $500,000 deductible.
So overall, we're looking at $1.1 million more a year? Is that what we're looking at? So where's our director of finance when we need her?
That is correct, approximately.
Okay. I don't have anything else right now.
Chris, you have any questions?
Yeah, just a couple questions. Well, first, I'm in agreement, the CJPRMA, not a big fan of it, primarily because they don't offer workers' comp. And because they don't offer workers' comp, and if we want it, which we may want it, we would have to go out and shop for that.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm not in agreement with number 4. But should the council be inclined to go with CIRA, C-I-R-A, I see that their membership deadline is tomorrow. Are we prepared to submit an application by tomorrow?
We are, and also these deadlines are the deadlines that the insurance pools gave to us, but they are willing to work with us. So they want enough time to complete their underwriting process, but if council was interested in moving forward with CIRA, they would certainly work with us on this deadline. Yeah.
I understand. And do we know the average amount of claims per year for each of these JPAs?
No, we do not have that information on hand, but we can certainly reach out to all the JPs and ask for that.
And term commitments, what are the term commitments for each of these JPAs? Did I miss that?
Between 3 and 5 years.
Oh, there it is.
None for Prism.
One for prison.
I like that.
Well, I like not having a set third-party administrator coming from the county. All the third-party administrators I've ever dealt with are awful. Especially if they're representing a whole bunch of cities, they don't ever seem to be doing the best job, and they don't always seem to be treating the employees the best. So I do like the ability that if we have a third-party administrator that we don't think is performing at the standards that we would like, that we could fire them and get a different administrator. I think that's always better, because when you have set ones, you can't get rid of them, even if they're horrible. So I do like that part. Also, I guess the $10 million from $40 to $50 million, I think is also a big contributing factor too. That obviously we'd be afforded more insurance. What do you guys?
Don't we use another step before the TPA, though? Don't we use what's it called before you get to the TPA, like a nurse that comes in that evaluates the claim as well? Are we still using that?
A
For
case,
workers' comp, or?
No.
a case nurse, nurse case manager,
Yeah, we
I think
used a
is what
couple
you're
things, too, before.
referring to.
Yeah, we used a few other things before that as well that helps us. You know, and I'm in agreement with you. I like
Yeah.
that we have our own, so.
But I think some third-party administrators don't have that. So
Correct.
I also wanted just to reiterate to the council that, that remaining self-insured is also an option as well.
Okay, well, anybody want to make a recommendation to what, as far as go with staff's recommendation with PRISM? Is that staff's recommendation at this point? Is PRISM,
That is correct. We are recommending PRISM based on the criteria that we mentioned in the report.
okay,
One of the things that is about PRISM, like Kurt mentioned, is, you know, the coverages are better, it's more money, but the claims have gotten higher. You know, the past couple of years, we've had some pretty significant, well, maybe not the past couple of years. You can get some significant workers' comp ones for PD. But with PRISM, if we gave them a shot, there's no commitment. You can give it a shot and see how it goes for a year, and if we decide we want to change it in a year, we can.
and that was without cost, right? Terry?
Without cost, to change it?
To change it to get out of PRISM where we wouldn't have to worry about
I'm sorry, could you repeat the
any
question again?
penalties?
We're not locked into a contract, so you can terminate without cause.
a year later.
Yes, you could terminate without cause. With PRISM, I believe that once we do leave, there is a waiting period that we couldn't go back into PRISM for a certain amount of years. So I just wanted to make the council aware of that as
Understandable.
well.
I believe the question was without cost?
Cause.
Cause or cost?
Cause.
Cause, correct?
Perfect.
Cause, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the recommendation. And one thing I wanted to share with you as well is your first comments were a year ago, you know, you were sorry for the way it was presented. I guess I'm in opposition to that. I know it was just kind of fast timing, but I think this council just wants, right, you guys to be innovative, and that was just a fast presentation. You brought it to the table, I think, just in time. So I wouldn't feel any type of weight, you know, about that, but thank you for mentioning it.
Any other comments? Are we all inclined to go with staff's recommendation then on the PRISM?
And if I may ask, on the I know I keep looking at the deductible, but that's obviously the biggest cost factor. Just based on claims that I know our firm has handled, there's never been anything that's reached the $1 million mark. I know there's a reference here to a large claim at 3.9. I don't know if that was a police case back in 2019,
I
but
believe it was.
sort of when you do the math, just something for the council to provide direction on, the difference ends up saving the city significant amounts of money if you don't anticipate large claims. So,
So can you get the magic 8 ball out for us? Fred? Like-
I mean, the 8 ball is just looking at your history, and,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. Like, I think past performance is a great indicator of future performance. But we are getting into,
To just
also
world.
a realm of risk in aviation that's different for us moving forward. But, I'm not, I can go either way with it, but the claims they seem to be increasing versus decreasing.
Well, I mean, I think just society as a whole, I think our police officers are getting involved in more
Exactly.
violent encounters on a more routine basis. And it doesn't matter if you're 100% correct, the lawsuits will come anyway. And a lot of times they do it with the hopes that you're just going to settle, obviously. But unfortunately, I mean, it's only getting worse. So I think obviously for us to be covered is the most important thing.
On that note, for the council to know as well that there's a back and forth vetting process. We're vetting them, evaluating them, and looking at these various options. But if the council does guide staff to look at one of these options, they will also, through the application process, evaluate us, and they'll look at those things that Fred is talking about in terms of our risk as well, and whether we are something that, an entity that they want in the pool as well.
I just also want to comment on Fred's comment. That's a nice compliment by you from us, Fred, because I know you're the city attorney for other entities and police departments. But to piggyback on what Mark said, we're a growing police department with more officers coming on board, and then there will be more in the future. And to me, it doesn't take us long to get to that $500 threshold any longer. So I'm comfortable.
And it's not even just the police one. I think we had one where a person was traveling over 100 miles an hour
Yes.
and didn't know the roads and crashed drunk, and they still tried to sue us. You know, it's just,
They are suing us.
Yeah.
Still suing us.
That one's not done yet.
yeah, so, I mean, we don't even have to be at fault, and
Yeah.
people are always gonna look for an angle to try to make money off of a situation, unfortunately.
So is the sense that,
Yes.
I believe staff is recommending 1 million.
That was Public Works. I'm just kidding.
You didn't anticipate 100-mile-an-hour drunk drivers.
Trying to make a right-hand turn.
The $1 million deductible is the council's preference?
As recommended.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Good job by our staff. Thank
Sounds
you.
like we're ready to go with PRISM, so thank you very much. We appreciate it. If there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned. The next regular meeting of the City Council will be held on Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in these council chambers.